What's up, traders? Todd here. Welcome to the public video update. I haven't done one in a while. It is now Wednesday, 23rd. It's NVDA day. Big earnings report. I want to show you what I'm doing with the stock, the options, show you what we've been working on here today at Trading Analysis and on the wealth management side. Busy day. One of the most historic events in a long time. So let's get into NVIDIA to start. I'll show you NVIDIA, I'll show you the positions I'm in, I'll show you where I am in the indexes on the wave count. But NVIDIA is coming out and it's going to be any minute here, so hopefully it happens while we're recording this live. The implied volatility here is massive for this earnings report, and what I've done here is taken the implied vol in NVIDIA, which is in teal. So this is the option pricing going in to this event for the options that expire Friday. And I've overlaid it with the VIX in purple or fuchsia or magenta or whatever color, purple. Let's go with that. Now, the spread between the two is what I'm saying, okay? The prior earnings report, which was for Q1 in May, was right here. Okay, and the teal again is the implied volatility for the options going in. The more uncertain the event and the more expected volatility, the bigger the implied volatility is, which means the more expensive options are, both puts and calls. That's why it's really not a good idea to buy options before earnings, because invariably you get after the earnings report, you get the implied volatility crush as the uncertainty comes out of the stock. Right? Well, the uncertainty is massive going into this report. Look at the move up in IV, 64%. Now, you've seen 64% spikes in NVIDIA options back here in October, back here in May, but look what was right behind it was the VIX in the overall market, right? The VIX was up, so the stock market was selling off, so all volatilities were up, right? Well, the VIX is low again because we're in a bull market, and VIX is low. Well, the spread is huge, right? So I was just looking back and saying, boy, just eyeballing, when's the last time we could see such a big spread between the VIX and IV in NVIDIA? And it looks like it was back here in November, October of 18. And I was just reading it over here. I don't have it up on the screen, but the highlight is like what happened with NVIDIA. NVIDIA shares tumbled 18%, Friday's close missing on revenue and guidance in Q3 of 19. Oh, that was in 19. Yep, 19. Something to do with surplus inventory weighed heavily in the company's Q4 guidance. Q4 for gaming reflects very little shipment in mid-range Pascal segment to allow channel inventory to normalize. So over inventory, blah, blah, blah. So, this was NVIDIA coming in, and I could show you more behind this, but very, very high implied volatility relative to VIX, and NVIDIA was in a downtrend at that point. Well, it's happening again, but it's on the upside, right? Massive move on the upside volatility. So what that means is the options are really expensive. And I'll show you the positions I'm in. Basically, if you look at the open interest here in these options, in this column right here, we're trading 470 at the close. And there's massive open interest here at the 500 strike. Okay, these are, so 21,000 contracts, so it'd be 210,000 shares to buy times 470. What is that? Calculator. What did I say? 21,444 times 100 shares. 2 million shares to buy at $500 strike. So that's $1 billion of stock to buy. And then if you go out to the monthlies that expire on September 15th, 500 strikes have 32,000 contracts. So, 1.6, 1.7 billion to buy, right? And there's really not a lot on the put side until you get down into the 420s and 430s. So there's 8,000 at 410. 27,000 at 400, 5,000 at 395. Those are the monthlies, and then we get back to the options that expire Friday. The open interest is pretty light on the put side, So as we get down here, 500 strike. You know, we got 5,000, we got 6,000 down to you're going to start to see a pick up here a little bit. 420's got 12,000 to buy on the put side, 18,000 to 400. So the point is, the implied volatility is so high, and there's a lot of open interest above 500 and below 430. Look at the implied volatility right here, 166% annualized volatility for these options that expire in 2 days. And that's going to be $46 from here to Friday. And the expected move is $43 after hours. And I already see it, 495 bid. Okay, so here's what I was going to say. I expect it to stay in a range because, again, there's so much price movement on there in the implied volatility. There is so much open interest. I was kind of expecting it to stay range bound, and it looks like the earnings are out. Let's see what is the news. I turned CNBC off behind me. Okay, 270 EPS. Wow, 13 billion in revenue. Estimates for 11.2. 270 EPS. What's the guidance? 16 billion. That's a massive guide. 16 billion. Where's my news? 16 billion revenue. Holy cow. For what? Q3 revenue guidance of 16 billion. Analyst estimates 12.4. I saw 11.1. 270 EPS. Estimates of 209. 25 billion share repurchase. Again, if this thing doesn't go above 500, okay, so I see over 503 bid now. Okay, that makes sense. NVDA sees GAAP gross margins to be 71 and 72.5%. That's crazy. Blowout earnings report. Blowout. Let's go to active trader and just see how the after hour price action is. So we're 503 bid. Okay, here's what I did. I have the stock. I hold, in this account that I trade, I hold 200 shares of NVIDIA, right? I'm long from a while ago. I'm up $49,000, $50,000 on this trade, up 10 today. I sold the 500 calls. Now, part of it is I wanted to, the implied volatility is super high. I also need to raise some money from this account and transfer some of this into my retirement account. I got to make my 401k contribution, my individual or solo 401k. So if I get called away, it's going to be kind of a bummer. So we're trading 509 after hours. Okay, so I'm long the stock. So the calls that I sold, that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, but that's okay. 510. What I also did is I also did a kind of a lotto ticket call butterfly. Let me show you that one. So that's going to be right here. Okay, that's this guy right here. So I did a 510, 530, 545 call butterfly. Everything I said where I expected the market to sort of stay below 500, which it still may happen. You know, it's a crazy report, but it may back off a little bit. We'll see. But I also put a lottery ticket on where I did a 510, 530, 545 call butterfly. Okay, buying 510 calls, selling 530s, selling 530s again, and then buying 545s. And that's the shape of a broken wing call butterfly. So I'm risking $1,000. Break even is above 511. Max profit being a 530 for $9,000. And then if it explodes topside above 550, I make $1,500. I'm looking at this teal number right here. So we'll see. Looks like it's already starting to back off here a little bit. Yep, 506, 515 high. So we shall see. Okay, I'm bullish. Okay, I am bullish. I'm bullish. Here's the NVIDIA wave count. I'll get up in the daily with the NASDAQ, and then I'll show you the macro forces driving this market. We added 4 new positions today. There was a big rotation going on in communications and technology. Okay, so I see this NVIDIA as a wave 4 pullback. It's a minor 4, and I believe in the coming 6 to 9 months, we're going to start seeing above 550 into 6s and 7s. That'll be into next year. Okay, everyone's calling me. So that's where NVIDIA is longer term. Let me show you the NASDAQ where we are. I think wave 4 is over. I think it was just a nice correction. We're getting clarity from interest rates. If you've been following on the YouTube channel here, it's all been about where rates are, not only long-term rates, but the short-term rates vis-a-vis the yield curve. And I'll show you a presentation we did today quickly. NASDAQ is simple. It's just a very nice, almost too perfect minor 4 pullback here. So green 1, 2, green 3, right up to the 1618 projection, pullback in 4, testing the area of the prior 4th. I mean, it really can't get much more textbook than that. We've held and we've pushed higher. Okay, so we went down and started to move up. So, you know, the minute we get above this resistance, which is 15,400, you know, that really confirms that you're in a 5-wave move here, and the lows have already been seen in the NASDAQ. Okay, that's the NASDAQ. That's NVIDIA. We did add some Microsoft today to our stock swing portfolio that we carry with our members. So nice pullback here in wave 4. I also added some Netflix. Nice, also very simple wave 4 pullback. They're just wave 4 pullbacks. It's no big deal. It's easy. Okay, that's that. Now I want to show you again a few things. This is a report that we do every week for our members. This is the monthly and weekly rotation of the economically sensitive sectors, which is tech, comms, and energy. Sorry, tech, comms, industrials, energy. Okay, so up top here is equal weight, down here is cap weight, right? Well, on the cap weight, your XLC, we're moving from monthly improving almost into monthly leading. So you're almost getting communications ETF moving into the monthly leading. That's huge. Here's the weekly, shorter. This guy was already on a shorter time frame, was already in leading, starting to move down, and is already starting to hook back up. If you get the hook back up here into weekly leading, that is going to all but guarantee that monthly XLC goes into the leading. Okay. Tech is right here, already in monthly leading, and here it is on the week. It's hasn't quite made the hook yet, but it's starting to, and it's actually doing so in the daily. If you get a tech and comms hook in weekly, that is going to further solidify the fact that growth is now back in charge. This was just an August sell-off. Bears got loud. Value is selling off. I can show you in the other rest of the report, but growth is coming back on. NVIDIA just crushed it. Earnings were very solid. It was a seasonally rough period in August. You should have been buying, and that's what we did. Let me just finish up with rates, and I'll put a cap on this video. Here we go. So what's going on with the rates? I'm just showing you this. Okay. So what's going on here is the 2-year yield is still kind of flat, or right around 5%. Is the Fed maybe is looking at one more rate hike, but the longer term rates are going up. So your 10-year yield is 4.2, 4.3, 4.4. What that's doing is the short end of the curve is staying anchored as the Fed is maybe got one more hike in it, and the longer rates have been going up. And what that does is that steepens the yield curve, or takes it out of inversion towards a more normal shaped yield curve, and that is going to allow the value growth ratio to continue higher. So it's really about short rates and long rates that are driving this. It's an interest rate driven market, not just the 10-year yield, but its relationship with the 2-year yield, which is the yield curve. Okay, I'll show you one more chart, and one that I've shown many times before. This is the 10-year yield on value growth ratio. So as the 10-year yields have been pushing up during 21 and 22 during the inflation scare, value was outperforming growth as the blue line was going up. Well, all of a sudden 23 came, yields started to back off, but then 10-year yields started getting back above 4%. Growth said to hell with it and just started rallying anyways relative to value, and now we're starting to get that hook, and then NVIDIA just came out and crushed earnings. So it looks like the value growth ratio is going to continue to go down despite the 10-year yield moving up, which this correlation even prior to 2022 was very tight. Value growth over yields. That correlation is broken apart because, again, I think it has to do more with the relationship between 10s and 2s, which is the yield curve, which is flat, which is becoming more steep, which is becoming more normal. And I think it is now growth trade into the end of the year. All right, guys, hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Thumbs up if that was helpful. Sorry if I just fire hosed you there, but a busy day. All right, see ya. Hi, it's Todd from tradinganalysis.com. Thanks so much for watching. Listen, my team and I have so much to share with you in terms of our technical analysis, our fundamental analysis, portfolio management tactics, trading in and out, maybe options, sector rotation. Let us know what's most interesting to you. Maybe drop that in the comments section and we'll do our best to work it in. Also, consider clicking the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when we put out new videos. And finally, you can check us out at tradinganalysis.com if you'd like to see us manage our real portfolios in real time. Thanks again for watching.